starting to be like, do I really need to spend all that money on all those palettes and brushes? Yes, I did. There's no doubt. I didn't need to do it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you want to see how I created this full face and what I used using a cheap makeup that I actually like. You know, when I started this video I was like, yeah, I'll just use cheap makeup, you know, whatever. I actually like all of it. I really would use it again. The only reason I wouldn't use it is because I have so much other stuff that I've spent so much money on that it would come first. But like this stuff, everything that I used, you know, I would definitely use again. And especially if you're on a budget, then I would highly recommend everything that I have used today on my face. So without further ado, so the first thing I'm going in with is the contour and highlight brow pen from Pennies. This is €3. I'm not 100% sure on all the prices, but I just know that I'm in the ballpark when I say whatever price it is. Because I tried to look most of them up online, but I can't find all of them, and then some sites have different prices, so you know. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for the usual under the brow line. Doesn't matter if you get this bit messy as usual, because we're going to be carving it out. So this is the first time I've used this and I am quite impressed. I used my Benefit Goof Proof brow pencil, like similar to this the other day, and it's fairly similar. Working the same, it's coming out. Maybe the other one's a little bit lighter, so it's kind of a better colour. That looks very harsh in the camera. It's not really like that though. Let's try and move over to the light a little bit. So yeah, just filling in the shape of my brow and extending my tail underneath my brow ever so slightly. As you can see, this is really messy, especially up here, but doesn't matter because I'm gonna get a spoolie now. One sec. So any spoolie will do, and I'm just gonna quite harshly brush that like so, and then lightly brush it through the rest of my brow. So the next thing I'm using is the Barry M All Night Long Concealer. I really like this concealer. It's like £5 or £6. You can get it in Boots. I really think that this is like up there with the P. Louise base. Like, it's very close. It's so high coverage. It stays really well. It's so thick, you know. It sets with no powder. Like, it sets the same if you keep tapping it like the P. Louise base. It sets just the same. And I'm using this brush. I got it on eBay. It's just an arts and crafts brush because I thought I'd stay in. I think I got the whole pack. I got a good few of them for like €3 or something, because I just said I'd stay in the theme with cheap stuff, because there's no point in me doing a full face of cheap makeup if all the brushes are really expensive. So I'm just putting that all over my lid after carving out my brow and tapping it until it's tacky. So once you have that carved out, then I'm going on with the Sosu beauty blender. This is the best beauty blender I've ever used. It's something about it, it's just so soft. Any clients that I've ever used this on have all noticed, without me even saying anything, that it's just so soft. And I think it's the cheapest beauty blender that you can actually get. So it's, I think it's £5 or £6, five something, £5.95 or something like that. So yeah, so I've just blended that in and bounced over it to make it nice and even. So I've just had to think about it, and I'm really nervous about this because my brushes are my bays, they're my life. I use the same ones all the time for the same things, and there's a reason for that, because they're my favourite ones that I've worked years to find. But I'm gonna, keeping in spirit with the video, I'm gonna use the Pennies brush set. I got this got about a year ago, but I'm pretty sure they still have these brushes up there. They're in like a little tin. You can get like pink or blue ones like these, and I'm gonna try and do my whole eye look with these brushes. I think the brush set was like €5 or €6 if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that, but they are very cheap brushes. I have used them before. They are okay, but my skill level was lower when I used them the last time, so who knows, maybe they'll be fantastic this time. So the palette that I'm using is this one here. It's from Essence. I'm pretty sure it's $3.95 for this. And last time I used this, it's not, skill set was lower, but I was actually blown away. I'm pretty sure you can still get this or one very similar and a very similar price. But like, I was like, oh my god, how Essence, like, whoa bitch. Like, how are you able to produce such good products for basically free? So getting all the creases out of my eye, making sure that it's good to go. So I'm gonna take this kind of, okay, there's a hair poking out that could one sec till I cut it. It's longer than the rest. So it's kind of the flat, fluffy one. So it's flat and fluffy. Well, although my favorite brush for packing this on is flat and fluffy. And I'm gonna take the darkest shade in this, which is up in the right hand corner. And I'm gonna go for it. So packing that in like I usually do. Okay, so I'm afraid to jinx it, but so far it's kind of okay. It's looking like the rest of my looks usually would, but I'm gonna stamp on a lot more just to be sure. Might be no point in doing that at all, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, so there's another kind of flat brush, but it's a bit thinner. You know, they're flatter. You know the difference between the flat brushes and the roundy brushes, because this is pinched, so there's like a little line here, and this one's just completely round, you know, on the blue thing here. So pinched. See that line? So that's how you know the brushes that I'm talking about. So I'm going to take the slightly smaller, longer flat brush. So I only really have an option of going in with kind of this color next or this color next, because these are shimmer shades and these are a bit too pale. So I think I'll go a bit off the wall, and I'm going to take this orangey kind of a, it's not really showing up on the camera what color it is, but it's like a taupey orange. I'm going to take it on that brush and I'm going to blend out those edges, hopefully. Now usually I would use a blank canvas E10 for this, which is a puny teeny weeny little brush. So this is like ginormous to me. But it's working, that's for sure. Okay, she's not looking too bad, you guys. Not looking too bad at all. Alright, so I'm gonna try and darken that back down as I would with any other eyeshadow palette or brushes, because it does lose the pigment when you go brushing over it with a lighter colour and a different brush. I have to say I'm actually impressed so far. I should do a video where I do like one side of my face with, oh yeah, I've swapped back to that other brush that I used a minute ago to blend out that, but I haven't put anything else on it. I'm just kind of blending the edges again. But yeah, I should do a video where I do one side of my face with the cheap makeup and the other side with the expensive makeup. Don't know why I did that, because it is actually expensive. I'm not sure if I have all of these brushes, by the way, but I think I do. So I'm going in with, there's the roundy one that I showed you earlier on. And I'm gonna take that shade here, which is really, really, really lightly colored, just to buff off the edge of this into our concealer. Wow, it's working. Starting to be like, do I really need to spend all that money on all those palettes and brushes. Yes, I did. There's no doubt. I did. I didn't need to do it. I would never doubt that. I need them all. Wow, though, in fairness, come on. I don't have one issue with this yet. Okay, going back in with that All Night Long full coverage concealer and the Arts brush, the flat one, the cheap one. I'm gonna just cut my crease. Just pat my finger along the edge where the concealer meets the shadow, and I'm going in with that very first brush we used, but I'm not putting anything else on it, and I'm just going to do the same thing I did with my finger and run it over the edge, just kind of blend in the area. My dog has also just come in, if you can hear her. And this is a teeny tiny brush also that's in the brush set from Penny's, and I'm just going to take that and put it over where we have the concealer. So yeah, just blending that back into. Yeah, I find with blending, when at this part I kind of like to tap over the area where the colours are mixing. It's easier. Come back in that with that brush that we used in the first place and the darkest colour, and I'm just going to put that on this outer corner here, just to deepen it back down, and just blend it then into that shimmer shade by patting then the edge. And then same brush, same colour, and I do have some of that concealer that we used, the Barry M concealer, under my eye. I can never film this because I need to look down like this to change the shape of my face, otherwise it doesn't work. Wow, that looks insane. So once that's placed down like that, I'm going to put that roundy brush that we used for the lightest colour on top, and I'm just going to buff over the edge the whole way around to take that back a bit so I don't look like I was beaten up. So the next thing I'm taking is this glitter liner by Collection. This is like $3.95 or something, and it's one of my favourite things to use in an eye look, and I'm just going to take that along the cut crease. So this brush came in that set that I got on eBay for like £3. The one I used is the concealer brush. This came with it. Keeping it nice and cheap. Damn it, you can't even see me doing that. It's just focusing on the brush. Going with this small little pencil brush from the same set, taking a tiny little bit of the Barry M concealer, putting it in on top of my tear duct, and then I'm taking this shade here out of the palette on the same brush, and I'm going to pack that in on top of the concealer. I'm working it back into the lash line a little bit like so. Wiping off that brush that we used the glitter for, and I'm taking this orange shade, metallic shade, and I'm going to just pop that in my waterline, and this will look really nice. If you have blue eyes, orange makes them pop loads. So I went ahead and put my lashes on. They're the ones that I've been raving about for ages on my Instagram. They're from AliExpress, and they are €2.30, including postage and packaging, for 5 pairs. And this is like maybe the 5th or 6th time I've reused these. I just clean the glue off really well, and then brush the bristles, the hairs obviously, with a spoolie, and they're good to go. Yeah, and what I put on my face now is the Ordinary primer, silicone primer. It's $4.90, I think I seen it for on Beauty Bay, and it just keeps everything in place and keeps your skin nice and hydrated as well. And it just fills in all those pores. I just really like this primer. I just find that it works on like all skin types, because I'd be really oily, so most primers do the opposite of what they're supposed to do for me, and they're like, yeah, all my makeup would just slide off my face. But so I like to rub that in loads, especially around my nose area, because that's where it comes off the most. The My Perfect Colour Velvet Finish foundation from Pennies or Primark if you're in the UK is what I'm going to use for my foundation today. This is €6, and it is not the best foundation, but for everyday wear I kind of wear it. Like if I was just putting a light layer on, no, this isn't a light layer, but if I don't need it to stay for hours and hours and hours as such, it's quite good actually. And if you use a good setting powder for it, it's actually quite good at staying. All depends on the type of skin you have. And I'm just going to bounce that in with the So Beauty Blender, and I've put water on it as well, the Beauty Blender, to make it nice and big and fluffy. Flipping it around to the side that I haven't been using at the start, so it's got barely anything on it, and I'm just going to bounce that along my hairline. I find that's the best way to blend it back in without having loads of makeup in your hair. And then along the rest of my face with that same part, to take all the cakiness out of it if there is any. Now I know I look like a ghost at the minute. I am very pale anyway as a person, but I'm gonna bronze myself up now in a minute and I'm gonna look good. First of all, I'm going in with some of that Barry M concealer, and I'm gonna put that under my eyeballs. I just find this makes such a difference for contouring, and I use this piece of the sponge. Most people would use this piece, but I find, I don't know, this piece, that part's in your eye and then that bit's missing for when you go, so yeah, go in at this angle with the Beauty Blender. I don't know if that makes a difference. I just find that much more comfortable to get in right up in there and to control it so you don't go taking away all your eyeshadow. For those of you who do your eyeshadow first, some people wait to do their bottom eyeshadow as well. I can pinch it like that as well sometimes to make it smaller, but yeah, some people wait to do their bottom eyeshadow to when they have their whole face done. I don't know why I don't like doing that, but I just don't. So the bronzer I'm going to use is this little one from NYX. It is Blush and Contour Duo, and I think this is like £6 or £7. It's the cheapest one I had. I don't usually use this one, but just for the sake of video, and I'm just kind of squeezing the brush like this and putting it on the bronzer side, and the same way I always would on my Insta stories. I pack it like eyeshadow. Oh god, I don't know if this is going to work actually, because I always use the Note one and that one blends away like a dream. So yeah, I kind of pack it right up under my my cheekbone. That's looking insane. And then I like to buff it without holding the brush when the brush is fluffy. Oh no, it's kind of buffing away, it's not too bad. I always look so washed out and crazy in the camera. See, it looks like a turd on my face. She's good. This one actually blends out quite nicely as well. I thought most bronzers these days are terrifying. You put them on and they're like, I'm here to stay. Hello, you call me bronzer? Yeah, and I'm putting that right back up into my temple, kind of into my hairline and back down, just everywhere when I'm blending out. Pack it on, and when I'm blending out I kind of just blend it all over the place so that it blends in with the rest of my foundation and doesn't look like I actually have bronzer on. It just looks like it's where my face is. And then along my hairline, squeezing the brush together again. Right back in there. And then yeah, buffing that basically all over your face, because most of the stuff's gone off the brush, so essentially you're just blending the same way you would with eyeshadow. Maybe not the same way, but same principle. Yes, so sometimes if I just, whatever mood I'm in, I'll just go over that with the excess bronzer, like that's, like I don't put anything else on it, and just go over my whole face, and I don't actually use any translucent powders because that kind of sets it in place anyway without going over it and putting without going through the effort of putting the translucent powder on. So for highlighter today, for the sake of the video and to keep it cheap as chips, trying to keep the price down as low as we can, I'm going to use the same palette from Essence that was $3.95 for my highlighter, and I'm going to go in with the colour that we used for the inner corner. And this is a Zoeva 134 Luxe Powder Fusion brush, and these Zoeva brushes are very affordable and are very, very good quality, so you could use whatever you have, but they are very good brushes. I have never done this before, just to let y'all know, so I have no idea what this is going to be like. I'm not sure. I'm going to try wet the brush. I'm pretty impressed with it so far anyway, as a highlighter instead of an eyeshadow palette, and it's only $3.99. I'm just going to get some setting spray, push that over the brush, bounce the brush into that shade. Are you seeing this? Guys, did I just discover a new awesome highlighter? That is so pretty. Let's continue to douse that face. Look at that Cupid's bow glow. Oh my god. Right, so I'm going to go into Penny's lip kit. I'm just going to use the actual liquid liner though. I'm not going to use not the liquid liner, liquid lipstick, sorry. I'm not going to use the liner because I just don't see the point. Some people like to do it to like give themselves an outline, but I end up just going over and reshaping my lips anyway, so I'm just going to dive in. I think these are like €4 for the lip liner and the lip gloss. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the finished look for today. I am absolutely buzzing with how this came out. I can't believe, when I was said I was going to use the brushes for the eyeshadow, the Penny's brushes, I was like, really paused the video for ages, and I was like thinking, you know, would it ruin the whole video, like when I'm trying to make cheap makeup seem good? Are these brushes gonna ruin that for me? But they just proved my point even more, because come on guys, those brushes are like a $5, and there's like 5 or 6 brushes in the set, and that's all I used for this eye look, and it turned out really nice. That my whole face did. Like, I really can't get over how nice this came out. Foundation could be a little bit more full coverage for me, but that's only because I'm having such a crappy skin week. Like, you know, what I'm saying. But I did only put a really thin layer of it on. Don't know if it's buildable, didn't try that out, but yeah, I did kind of, you seen with the sponge, I took most of the cakiness off it, whereas maybe I should have left that. So yeah, I hope this video helps people out there to like get a move on with their lives and get some makeup and start playing, because I've had a few clients come to me and be like, oh, I'd love to start doing makeup, you know, I'd love to start my own channel, or I'd love to start like my own Instagram, but you know, to be good you have to have the good stuff. And like, I'm like, yeah, I suppose, but like, you really don't. Like, I'm gonna add up the prices to everything that I've just used and see how much everything cost me, including the brushes that I used, and see how much everything cost. And like, you could drop the likes of the primer, and you don't have to have everything. Sometimes you could just use the play with the eye stuff. That's what a lot of Instagram is about, is eye makeup. Like, so yes, again, I hope this video was helpful. I'm really bad at outros and intros. I usually try to keep them quite small and quick, so I'm not really talking and messing up like I am now, but I'm learning, I'm trying to, like, be a YouTuber, which is hard. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that it helped you. Please let me know down below if you want to see anything else or what you thought about this video, and then I'll see you in my next one. Bye, love you guys.